So a lot just happened, and we learned a lot about characters. We see how idealistic Brutus is. He immediately trusts Mark Antony. He immediately thinks running about the streets with their bloodied hands, people will understand what they have to say. He also thinks that by speaking first and telling Mark Antony, you can't speak ill of us, that will work. We also see Cassius's character, that Cassius immediately does not have a good feeling about this. And if we go back into the play, if you remember when they were deciding about who should be in the conspiracy and who else should be touched, Brutus said, no one else should be touched. Cicero shouldn't be asked to be in the conspiracy because he is a leader and not a follower. And Cassius said, but his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion. And Cassius also said that Mark Antony should bleed. So we see that Cassius seems to be a pretty good judge of situations, but we'll see how it plays out now that we're in Act 3, right? And the murder has happened. That is the climax. So everything moving forward is the unknotting of the plot or the falling action. Additionally, we see Mark Antony. In the beginning of the play, we saw a man who said, when Caesar says, do this, it is performed. And we hear that he's a partier, and we hear he goes to plays, and that he jokes around. Well, to me, in this scene, he shows himself to be especially cunning. The way he sends a servant, and he compliments the conspirators. The way he names each conspirator as he shakes their hands. The fact that already we can kind of read into the fact, why would he want to take Caesar's body to the marketplace, the public place, to speak to the people? And why does he want to speak at his funeral? So it's a huge character development moment, and it's also, of course, going to be the turning point. And later on this week, actually starting next week, you'll read the 2 funeral speeches, which are probably the 2 most well-known portions of this play. So to complete this scene, we start off on line 274. And what you need to do is you need to circle the stage direction, because it says, exunt all but Antony. So what does that mean? It means that Antony is alone on stage, and what is Shakespeare giving us? He's giving us a soliloquy. He's giving us a moment to get into Antony's head, to see exactly what he is thinking, exactly what he is planning. And it's the perfect time, because we've seen him and what he says to the conspiracy, but now we're going to know truly what his intentions are. So it's a pretty powerful soliloquy. So here we go. Antony turns around and he's speaking directly to Caesar. And he says, "Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers." Referring to them as butchers. "Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood." Woe means watch out, revenge to the men that shed this costly blood. "Over thy wounds do I now prophesy, do I now promise, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all parts of Italy." Look what he's promising. He's promising that there shall be a curse on men. He's promising to incite domestic fury and fierce civil strife. He wants to incite civil war. "Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war." He's saying war will be so common that mothers will hold their infants quartered with war, chopped. They're chopped up infants, okay? That they would hold their chopped up infants from war, and they'll just smile. Because Antony wants to make war so common, blood so common, violence so common as revenge. And he says, "All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side come hot from hell, shall in these confines with the monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war." So he's saying Caesar's spirit will range from hell and seek revenge, and the dogs of war, a war will be incited. "That this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men groaning for burial." So in the stage direction, we see Octavius' servant enter. Now, Octavius is Caesar's nephew. And he sends a servant in. "You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?" "I do, Mark Antony. Caesar did right for him to come to Rome." So before Caesar died, he messaged his nephew and said, "Please come to Rome." And the servant said, "He did receive his letters and is coming, and bid me say to you by word of mouth." "Oh, Caesar, Servant didn't know Caesar was dead, sees his dead body. And Antony says, thy heart is big, get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching from mine eyes. He goes, you know what? You're starting to cry, I'm gonna cry too. He's saying, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, begin to water. Is thy master coming? Is Octavius on his way? And the servant says, he lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome. He's 21 miles from Rome right now. And Antony says, post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Go tell him what happened to Caesar. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius said. It is not safe for Octavius to come to Rome. And he says, hie hence and tell him so, yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this corse to the marketplace. Wait until I bring the corpse, back to the marketplace. There shall I there shall I try in my oration, my funeral speech, how the people take this cruel issue of these bloody men, according to thou which shall discourse to young Octavius the state of things. Lend me your hand. He says, stay for a while I give my funeral speech. Let's see how the Roman people react. And he says, lend me your hand, shake my hand, and exeunt. Scene 1 is over. Everything after this will be the fallout of Caesar's death and of what happens at the funeral speeches. I hope it helps, guys. Have a good day. Stay safe. Social distance, and hopefully I'll be able to see your faces in my classroom soon. Bye.